On June 6, 1944, the 5th Army Regiment of the U.S. First Army was going to attack German-occupied France at Omaha Beach. Pointe du Hoc was 4 miles west of Omaha Beach, and intelligence showed that there were artillery guns placed at it. The guns emplaced at the point could fire upon Omaha and Utah beaches. If these guns were allowed to fire, then the invasion would have been a failure. In preparation for the assault, the Rangers trained with British commandos. The Rangers also studied pictures of the point. The Rangers developed a way to shoot ropes up the cliff face, also tied fuses to the end of the grapples to make them look like a grenade. The Rangers also modified their landing craft. They took a common Higgins boat and added armor to it.
You knew it would be something in the line of high hills or cliffs or something of that nature there.
We set up training down in the Isle of Wight, where there's some enormous cliffs down there, up at 200 feet in height.
And they drop these rope ladders down, you go scurrying up the cliffs, and then you get up to the top of the cliffs, and they had this rope that they'd come down, put around your shoulders and around your leg, and drop you down, and you grab it like this, and it'll stop you. And we did that. We were 19 years old, 20 years old. That was fun. And I think it was on, and I'm guessing it was June the 1st. We still didn't know where we were going to go, but they put us on trucks. And I remember the canvas was off 2.5-ton trucks, and they trucked us down to a port. And that port happened to be Weymouth. Put on landing craft and taken out to the mothership. Still didn't know where we were going. They said, all Rangers to your stations, and it must have been about 4 o'clock in the morning. So we got all our gear together and went to our stations where we were assigned to get into a specific landing craft. And we were like corks, just like this. And the landing craft was flying up and down in the water. Guys were getting seasick.
I counted 147 in the line that I was in of vessels going across the channel. On my left-hand side, there was another column of ships. It goes from horizon to horizon. On this side, another column of ships, horizon to horizon. I mean, this is unbelievable as to the size of it. And the term that I use is like a coiled spring. And there wasn't anything that was going to stop this.
Man, when you watched it coming in, it was a major fireworks there, like the big battleships and cruisers and the rocket launchers. It seems like they could run off like about a dozen at a time, you know, and just scads of those going up there that you felt, oh boy, this is going to be a cakewalk, you know.
We were surprised that the enemy position at atop the cliffs at Pointe was as big and dangerous as it was, and it absolutely had to be neutralized. The whole operation would be in danger and jeopardy.
Intelligence believed that there were 125 infantrymen and 85 artillerymen at Pointe du Hoc. What the point lacked in men, it made up in defenses. There was a near vertical 80 to 100 foot rocky cliff rising from the beach. The Germans built a concrete observation post for artillery spotters on the edge of the cliff. The Germans also built tunnels and trenches all over the point. The Rangers traveled in LCA boats manned by British seamen, and they were led by James Earl Rudder.
We were fired on while coming in because this was not a surprise. The enemy had had about 30 minutes to get up out of his underground bunkers. He was up there throwing hand grenades down by the bushel basketful and firing right down on us, and there was rapid fire situations on either flank that were firing into us. So we had that to come into. The ropes were fired up. There were grapple hooks. Some of them pulled out. The enemy, damn it, cut some of the ropes. You say that was not kosher, you know. And there were two guys on a rope right in front of me going up. So I started in behind them, about 50 feet below them. And the enemy was leaning over up there throwing down grenades, and I yelled up to these fellows. I said, boys, put your faces in and your butts out. They're throwing grenades. And about that time, there was a hellish explosion, very loud explosion, and I was knocked out for a while.
Less than 10 minutes after landing, the first Rangers were on top of the cliff. At 7:30, a signal was sent to the headquarters that said the Rangers had made it up. Also during that same message, Rudder told the reserve soldiers to land at Omaha Beach, leaving Rudder and his men all alone with no reinforcements.
The main force had to go in on Omaha Beach. And they were supposed to fight their way up to us by noon. And they got up there at noon on the third day.
You can rattle off the names. Sergeant Biddle, he was from Philadelphia. Daniels, Rady Daniels, he was in trouble all the time. He was always on KP and that there. He was always doing things he shouldn't have been doing in that there, but when he was about to go, he was mumbling away about his mother and that there. He knew he was going, you know, so you never forgot that. There's Ed So, our first sergeant, is there. Joe Rafferty, our captain, he's there. When you wonder what the biggest impact was in your life, you know, well, D-Day was my biggest one. Nothing came close. To believe that, what is it, 60-some years or something, that I'd be still alive. Coming in there to that, boy, if I could live another day, that would be kind of nice.
James Earl Rudder was just the leader of the 2nd Rangers. The Rangers worked together, and one man could not be given sole accolade for the events that occurred at Pointe du Hoc. Rudder was indeed important to the Rangers, but the overall group of soldiers was a more important individual itself. The actions that occurred at Pointe du Hoc definitely saved countless lives, and it was the major turning point of the war. Without that company of Rangers, we might have lost to the Nazis. The 2nd Rangers left a legacy that most people don't notice immediately because of the events surrounding them that overshadowed them, like Omaha Beach. The legacy they left is one of great importance. In the present and future, people will recognize the sacrifices that these soldiers made in order to save many lives and stop a group of terrible people. Overall, the Rangers did many brave actions, and they have become a legacy.